Drummers making me so happy. King. What's up, dreamers? I'm Bryce from Midnight Notion, and this is the Rocker Review. Let the Flames Begin, track number 6 from Paramore's album Riot. We are going through the whole entire record, and I am giving points to each song, and these points don't mean anything. It's just because I'm a nerd and I like to rank things. So I'm ranking this one using the following criteria: structure, flow, melody, engagement, and lyrics. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale, with 0 being not for me and 4 being super great. 2 is the baseline standard, so it's just like every song that's ever existed, it gets a 2. It's not a bad score, it's just baseline. Again, these points mean nothing, but I encourage you to play along because I think it's fun to rank songs. I think it's really fun to over-analyze them because why the heck not? I like to say why I like things, and so that's what this series is all about. That's what all of these series are about. Let's get into the song, but first hit the subscribe button. Make sure you check out all of the videos on this channel, and of course check out my music, which is available anywhere you get your music online. Midnight Notion is the name, rock and roll is the game. Let's do some rockin' with Let the Flames Begin. I like this tone. I like that drum pattern. Listen to the snares. He's hitting the snare on 2 and 4 in the first measure, but in the second measure, it's 1 and 4. And it's kind of a weird pattern. Boo-boo-ka, boo-boo-ka, ka-boo, boo-boo-ka. It's a very cool pattern. I want to go back. Reminding me of something.
I give it all my oxygen. So let the flames begin.
There's the title.
Let the flames begin. Oh, glory. Oh, glory.
Okay, all right. I had a feeling it was going to get heavier I'm assuming this is the chorus, but I really like the vibe of that first verse, the intro, the first verse. We have this really clean guitar. There's a lot of movement going on. I know that there's 2 guitars playing, so one of them's doing a little bit more of the licky sort of do-do-do, boo-do-do, sort of playing around. The other one's doing a little bit more of a steady pattern. But a lot of picking, a lot of movement going around. It's not just a steady, it's not just strumming normal. It's actually playing around. And that clean tone is really nice. There's not much going on with the guitar. It doesn't sound like they have many effects on it at all. It sounds very just as it is, just an electric guitar plugged into an amp, and that's it. There might be some reverb, there might be some chorus, it might be EQ'd, whatever, but it's very dry. And by dry, I mean it's not a whole lot of echo, reverb, effect, processing. There's not a lot of there's no wah or extra pedals going on. It's just a very clean guitar. And then we have the drums rocking just as they have been on the entire record, but we have again a very interesting rhythm on the drums. This isn't something that you play naturally. This is something you have to learn and practice. Not because it's hard, but just because it's unnatural. It's different. Having that snare on the 1 right after the snare on the 4, it's just a funky groove, and I really like that. I appreciate that when drummers don't just play boo-boo-ga, 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 mixing it up a bit. That way, when we get to the chorus and the groove starts to be more straight, it means something. We've built to something. We've released all of this built-up energy. So it's a really cool energy. I don't talk much about the bass in these songs because the bass is hard to pick out. A lot of times when there's 2 guitars, the guitars take up all of the room and the bass kind of just layers beneath them whatever the guitars are playing. But the bass is there and the bass is doing some cool things. So while the guitars are doing this clean rhythm, the bass is holding down that low end. And there's this vibe that I'm getting that really, I don't really know what kind of vibe it is, how to express what I'm hearing. But I'm thinking of like maybe a racing game or something, but less of an aggressive racing and more of like a driving through the country kind of thing. Not the country, maybe like a suburbs or something. I don't know. There's a driving vibe for me in this song, but I think it's cool. We're going to go back 10 seconds just so I can hear the entry point into this chorus. Let's jam. Nice, short chorus. Straight in the verse. Is that a... So downside to this, it's a very cool thing to go straight from the chorus into the verse, but you can hear that her voice is overlapping. So who's going to sing which part? Somebody's going to have to sing glory. I think, is that the word, glory? Glory is held out, and then new singing comes in underneath it. So Haley would not be able to sing this live without help. That's fine. She has a band. The bandmates can sing harmonies and whatever. But just a fair warning to those of you who are writing songs. It's a cool studio thing. It sounds great in the studio. But if you only have one lead vocalist, somebody else is going to sing it in the live version. And is that something that you want, or is it something that you don't want? Just question it. I want to go back just one more time so you can hear what I'm talking about. You can hear her saying glory, and then the other voice comes in at the same time. That's just studio work. That's just layering. Anytime you're recording vocals in a studio, you're likely to record the verse separate from the chorus. And sometimes you do layers, right? You do multiple versions. Like in my latest record, Somewhere in Dreamworld. Somewhere in Dreamworld is available wherever you get your music online. My choruses, you're only hearing one voice, but I've layered it. I sang it 3 times, and each time I tried to match the previous times so that it sounds like one voice, but it's actually 3. Everybody does doubling. Some people do tripling. Maybe not everybody, but it's a very common practice to double and triple your vocals. That's different. Singing on top of another part, that's a little bit different. I'm not knocking the song for doing that. I'm just saying, as a songwriter, think about that. Is this something you want? Is it something you need? Question mark. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. I'm just saying, I'm just pointing it out. If you hadn't noticed it before, nobody could perform this live with just one voice. They would need to either cut the note short or have a different singer sing the last note. That's a bummer because typically the last note of the chorus is a really catchy line or a good hook. Maybe it's appropriate to have the microphone, hold out the microphone and make the audience sing it. That's a great way to do it. But if they don't know the song, like me right now, I haven't heard the song. I can't sing that part yet. I'm going to try the second time through, but I don't know. So just something to watch out for when you're writing songs. That one guitar is doing a little bit of a feedback, and the feedback actually kind of matches the same note as glory. So you heard her say glory, she kind of fell off the note, and the guitar kind of continued to hum. But meanwhile, the clean guitar has come back. So the distorted guitar is kind of fading away in the distance, and the clean guitar is taking over.
Strength, and I'll die searching for it. I can't let myself regret such selfishness. My pain and now the trouble caused. No matter how long, I believe that there's hope buried beneath it all. Hiding beneath it all. Growing beneath it all. This is I will dance when they try to take us down. This is how we'll sing out. This is
A double chorus, second time.
we'll stand when they burn our houses down. This is what will be
I like that rhythm, that da 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 ba ba ba. Very fun.
what will be
Drummers making me so happy. King. That little ping is the top of the ride cymbal. I talked about that in a recent song. The very bell of the ride, that ping, going back to this fill one more time.
As I sink down into light.
I really love that guitar. I'm getting it mostly in the right speaker for me. It's a very cool kind of fall down, sort of sprinkly, sort of, it feels like rain. Or maybe like a snowflake kind of going back and forth. Or maybe dancing flames. Okay, just right back in. I can hear the lead guitar doing a little bit more during the chorus instead of just straight power chords. You can hear that. There's like a lead line in there somewhere. It's cool. Ooh, halftime. Yes. You can hear a little bit of the delay on the end of that. Oh, it looks like there's more. So it might be just a, might be a do. It might be static like that, and there's an echo. So it's like do. I'm trying to illustrate that you're strumming once, but it's playing twice because it's got a delay on there. There is a delay effect, but I think it is a little bit more movement. I don't know. I haven't looked up the tabs or anything. I don't know how to play the song, but I'm gonna go back one more time because I do want to hear it. It's just the guitar. It's easier to hear that it's an effect. It sounds like it's a pull off, right? They strike it once, B, and then they pull off, ooh, be doo doo. So it's a pull off and then another strike, be doo 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 doo, something along those lines. That's what I'm hearing. Cool guitar work, cool little effect, very little, minimal effect, but it goes a long way. So I like the song. I think it was a lot of fun. Let's give this sucker some points. Here we go. Structure. The song is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Mostly, but there's one extra little detail that I want to call to attention, and that is that the second verse is a little bit longer. There's a little bit extra content after the verse to kind of build it a little longer, and the first chorus is only half as long as the second and the third choruses are. So that alone makes it different from the baseline standard. It makes it just a little bit new, a little bit more fresh. And I think that's really cool. So the way that they build up one chorus as being very short, and then later on they give you even more, it's like keeping us interested all the way through. And so structurally speaking, I think that's pretty good. We're going to give this one a 3. Flow. It's really hard for me to believe that any song off of this record is gonna not have good flow. I like the groove all the way through. We have a clean guitar with heavy drums, and then we have heavy everything for the chorus. We got halftime vibes, we got straight vibes, we got weird beats all the way through. There isn't really anything that caught me off guard. There's some fun rhythms that I was like, oh, these are exciting to listen to, but nothing that was like, oh, that doesn't fit. It's pretty 4/4 all the way through. There's no real big changes or anything, so pretty standard there, but I do like it. So once again, flow gets a 3. Melody. I've said it before, a lot of times when I speak about melody, I'm talking about the vocals, but the winner in this song, in my opinion, is actually the guitars. I really love the guitar work in this song. Those movements that they're doing, whatever they're playing, there's something to that that's very beautiful. It feels very falling. It feels like things are crumbling around you, and it kind of illustrates what the song is talking about in the lyrics. So I really appreciate that. I love the way that light guitars and heavy drums play together. There's like a juxtaposition, but they're really nice. And having that bass just kind of strumming the low notes of the chords, the root notes, it just brings everything together and it feels right. And then on top of that, Haley's voice is always incredible. And I do like what she sounds like when she's singing. So everything combined, I like the melody of this song. We'll give it a 3. Engagement. This category is always more about getting people involved, getting them to sing along. That's kind of the goal of this category. So bobbing our heads all the way through the song is a form of engagement, but I never grade based on that because I bob my head to everything. So you're going to have to do a little bit more work to get me involved in the song more than my normal. So if bobbing my head is the normal thing, then that's a 2. And that's kind of where I feel like this song sits. They didn't really do that extra work to really make me go, oh, I can play along at this section. Of course, I'm always going to air drum. I'm always going to bob my head. But there wasn't that like big full stop moment where I'm like, I can sing this part. I didn't really learn the words as we were going. Maybe I wasn't listening that close. I probably could have picked up on it. I know that Glory came up multiple times in the song, but it wasn't in a place that I could predict it to happen. So therefore I didn't feel open to singing along just on the first try. I'd have to listen to the song again, learn it, and then I could play along. But engagement is about doing it on the first time. So for this one, I think this is a baseline standard score. It's a 2. Lyrics, let's take a look at them, shall we? What a shame we all became such fragile, broken things. I like this. There's already an internal rhyme. Aim, became. Shame, became. That's the internal rhyme. And then ends without the aim rhyme. Things is a completely different word. Then we come down to the second line. A memory remains just a tiny spark. So again, we have that ain sound. It's aim, remain. N is a slant rhyme, but it's still there. Just a tiny spark. I give it all my oxygen to let the flames begin. Let the flames begin. So there's not a real standard rhyme scheme here. And I think this is something I'm really interested in with Haley's writing. I'm seeing this a lot in a lot of her songs. She doesn't really care about that Seussian rhyme scheme, that A-B-A-B style. We don't have every single line setting up a rhyming word. And I think that that's kind of cool. It's a break from the norm. The norm is that every line is setting up with a rhyme. And so by breaking that in creative ways and having lines that are in 3s instead of 4s or whatever, I think there's some really cool things as far as the rhyming part of this poetry. The other thing that I like is just the name of the song, Let the Flames Begin. That's kind of a play on Let the Games Begin, but it's kind of like this sort of dark version of it. I was like, okay, everything's gonna go up in flames, so kick back, wait for it to happen. I guess everything sucks now, right? Let the flames begin. Here we go. But it's also positive at the same time. We've got the negativity of everything is going up in flames, but we get the positive of this is how we'll dance when they try to take us down. This is what we'll be. Oh, glory. This is like a triumphant, like, screw you, big man. You're going to try to take us down. We're going to rise above. We're going to rise to the occasion. We're going to riot, right? And so that's a really cool message. While calling attention to all the badness of the world, we're also calling attention the greatest part of the human existence, our ability to endure. So really cool there. The second verse breaks this internal rhyme. Somewhere weakness is our strength, and I'll die searching for it. Nothing here really feels like it's an internal rhyme to me. I can't let myself regret such selfishness. So I guess it and ness are kind of a slant rhyme. You could kind of deliver it a certain way. Weakness and selfishness are kind of a rhyme, but ness is still the same word. So my pain and all the trouble caused, no matter how long, I believe that there's hope. It seems to me that Haley has the infamous, and I have this too, the first verse disease. I'm going to call it the first verse disease, where you write one verse and you're like, oh, this is great. And then you write the chorus, and then you have the structure of the song and everything's coming together, and now it's time to record, and you're like, oh shoot, I have to write a second verse. And you sit down to do the second verse, and you're like, what do I say here? And I already said everything that I wanted to say in the first verse and in the chorus. chorus, what goes in that second verse. And so the second verse is just a little bit weaker than the first verse was. And that's unfortunate. I feel like a lot of writers have this. It's not a bad thing. It's just human nature. We just write that way. Even novelists have a problem with the middle section of their book. The intro, the beginning, like, oh man, what an awesome scene. And the ending, oh, what a cool climax. But that middle section, always the hardest part to get around. So no problem there. It's not a knock on anyone. I'm not saying anyone is a bad writer for having a lesser than awesome second verse, but I do want to call to attention, this is a thing that happens. It happens with me. It happens with everyone. So I think that this second verse is not as strong as the first verse. It doesn't really add anything extra. It feels very just like, I don't know, I guess there's hope. But I do like the add-in of buried beneath it all and hiding beneath it all and growing beneath it all. And this is a cool section. This is, I don't know if you want to call this a pre-chorus or not, but this extra little add changes the structure of the song, brings interest to the second verse. But also we have this, it's not anaphora when it's on the end. I forget the word for it when it's on the end. I'm going to look it up. Anaphora is when you have the same word at the beginning of each line in repeating clauses. So you got it begins with, right? Epistrophe is the opposite of that. Epistrophe. It starts with an E. Look it up. Epistrophe. Oh, maybe I'll put it right. Can I put it here? I have white text on my shirt. Here. Put it on my shoulder here. Epistrophe. It's not apostrophe, it's epistrophe. And that means the end of each sentence or each line ends with the same thing. So we have beneath it all, beneath it all, beneath it all, and. So beneath it all and is at the end of each line, and the first word changes each time. Buried, hiding, and growing. This is a very interesting section because we have, you're buried by all this problem in the world, you're hiding from the problems in the world, but you're also growing because you're learning from all the problems in the world. And that's the important key here. That's what allows us to dance when they try to take us down. And that is, I think, my favorite part of the song. I think that one little verse is my favorite part. I also like that in the bridge, we just have one line and it's repeated. Reaching as I sink down into light. Reaching as I sink down into light. Very simple bridge. You don't have to go much farther than that. You don't have to say a lot of words in a song. You can just get it over with a quick little snippet. So I appreciate the lyrics in this song. I did say that the second verse was but overall, I love the vibe of this. Stuff is terrible. We're going to just watch it all burn down, but we're also going to learn from it. We're going to grow from it. We're going to get better, and we are going to friggin' dance. Never stop dancing. So for this song, lyrically, I'm happy about it. That's a 3. And so Let the Flames Begin gets a grand total of 14 points. Well done. Let the Flames Begin. Let's see where it lands on the top leaderboard. It looks like it is in 3rd place. Good job. It has since gone up to 3rd place. That means Hallelujah and Misery Business are now tied in 5th place. And we still got That's What You Get in 1st place. So there it is. That's my top 10 so far, even though there's not 10 songs yet, but there will be. Now it's your turn. In the comments below, tell me what score you gave this song using my method, or tell me what your method is and tell me what score you got from that. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. I appreciate having you here, and I'd love to see you here on future videos. And of course, check out Midnight Notion. My music is available all around the internet, so check that out. Paramore fans out there, you're going to really love what you hear. So that's the end of the video. I hope that you learn and grow from all of the world around you, and that you continue to keep being awesome, because I think you're awesome, because you are awesome. I love you very much. Thanks for being here. You rock.